Jai Hind everyone. I am Vivek Kumar Pansari, Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. In this particular video, which is related to Unit 2, I will be covering what basically this particular term air conditioning is and the working of window type air conditioning system, which we generally use for domestic purpose. Earlier in my previous videos related to Unit 2, I covered refrigeration, the vapor compression refrigeration system, the domestic refrigeration system, the air refrigeration system. So, in that the air conditioning will be discussed in this particular video. Okay, so first thing is what basically the air conditioning is. It is written over there, it is that branch of engineering science which deals with the conditioning of air, means maintaining desirable internal atmospheric conditions for human comfort. So, what basically the air conditioning means? This is what explained here. Conditioning means for the purpose of human comfort. Conditioning of air for the purpose of human comfort. And human comfort is not only dependent on what? Temperature. There are certain other factors also on which the human comfort depends. So, making the surrounding air as per the requirement of human comfort, this is what the air conditioning. So, it does not mean that only the temperature will change, either it is getting decreased or increased. Definitely some other parameters also we have to cover. So, what are these parameters? It is controlling the temperature. Along with temperature, we need to control moisture level, purity and motion of air. So, obviously for human comfort, we generally say that the 21 degrees centigrade is that temperature of surrounding at which a human being feels more comfortable and its efficiency is also very high. Along with that, the humidity, the moisture content of the air, that must not be more than 56% of relative humidity. That term I will be discussing. What do we mean by relative humidity in the slide of terminologies. Okay, so that's what we can feel. If the moisture level is very high, if the weather is very humid, then also we don't feel comfortable, because in that humid condition the evaporation of our sweat, which we are sweating continuously, it doesn't take place and it increases our internal body temperature. So that's why the humidity of air must not be more than 56% of relative humidity. Third thing, the purity of air. It is also important. That's why we feel or that's why the term of smog is now in picture, in that we can't even breathe. So if the air is not pure, if it is containing some disagreeable element like carbon dioxide in the limit, in beyond the limit condition, then also we don't feel comfortable. So this is also done, this is also taken care when we talk about the air conditioning system. Another point, that is the motion of air. If the speed of air is very high or if the speed of air is very low, then also it is not possible to feel comfortable. So it should not be. So these things has to be taken care when we are talking about the air conditioning system. Whereas when we talk about the refrigeration, we talk mainly about what? We talk mainly about the lowering the temperature. But when I talk about air conditioning, then along with the temperature, obviously if we are working in summer, then lowering the temperature is the first task. But in summers, these parameters also has to be taken care. Another important thing which I want to clarify here, air conditioning doesn't mean that we have to use the air conditioning system in summers only. We can use the air conditioning system in winters also, and according to that weather condition of winter, the condition of surrounding air will be maintained as per the human comfort. So this is also the part of air conditioning. So I hope that term is now clear what basically the air conditioning and what are the main parameters of this. Okay, so application, as we all know, there is nothing very new It's used in offices, hotels, buses, cars, used in industries having tool room machines. Yes, it is not only for the purpose of human comfort, some industrial application also there. Used in textile industries to control moisture. Yes, that's what we are controlling in air conditioning system. Along with the temperature, the 56% relative humidity is only permitted. Used in printing press also, there also the humidity plays an important role. Used in food industry, chemical plants. So these are the certain domestic as well as the commercial application of air conditioning system. Then we can classify the air conditioning system according to the purpose. According to the purpose, it can be a comfort air conditioning system, it can be an industrial air conditioning system which is designed for human comfort. Then we will say the comfort air conditioning. If it is designed for some commercial or industrial purpose, then it is industrial air conditioning. According to the season, so in summer air conditioning, what is the purpose? First is to maintain the cold. Second, dehumidification. So the summer air conditions are designed for lowering the temperature and for reducing the moisture level also. Whereas in winter air conditioning, what is the purpose? The purpose is heating, because the surrounding air temperature is quite low. So sometimes we have to increase the temperature of our space in which we are. Along with this, we can feel that the moisture level in winter is very low. The moisture content of air is very low. That's why we feel sometimes that we can mark a scratch on our skin also with the nail. So it is necessary to humidify also, to maintain the moisture level also. So this is the requirement. And some air conditioning systems are like this, year round air conditioning systems are there. Then types of air conditioner: room air conditioner, winter air conditioner, central air conditioning system. So how on these basis we can classify the air conditioning system. Now what are the functions of air conditioners? Cleaning of air, controlling the temperature, controlling the moisture, and circulating the air. This is what the functions of air, as I already explained in my first slide, this is what the requirement of air conditioning system. This is what the purpose of air conditioning system. Now I am coming to the basic terminology related to the air conditioning system. The first one, the dry air. What does it mean? The atmospheric air with no water vapor is called dry air. Psychrometry. Psychrometry is that particular science where we study about the properties of atmospheric air, and in properties of atmospheric air, along with the pressure and temperature, the moisture level, and on that basis some parameters are to be decided. So this particular study is known as psychrometry. Temperature, the degree of hotness or coldness, this is what known. Moisture, moisture is the water vapor present in the air. Okay. Humidity. So earlier in refrigeration we were talking about the temperature, but when I am talking about the humidity, so what basically it is? Mass of water vapor present in 1 kg of dry air. Okay, 1 kg of dry air. But when we measure in terms of mass, then I don't think it is a proper way of measuring the humidity, because we generally put our air conditioning system for a certain space where volume comes in picture, where volume of that space comes in picture. So in that condition, it has to be measured the mass of water vapor present in 1 cubic meter of dry air. So now this is the more appropriate way of measuring the humidity level in air, in 1 cubic meter, not 1 kg of dry air. So this is what the then more important term, which is more relevant for the purpose of study, that is the relative humidity, because it is the ratio, basically ratio of what? It is the ratio of actual mass of water vapor in a given volume to the mass of water vapor actually held by the same volume. So we can understand this. Suppose I am considering this particular volume. Okay, absolute humidity means how much humidity or moisture is available in this particular volume. But if I have to compare this with what? Compare with the maximum. So this particular volume of dry air, how much maximum moisture it can contain. So when I compare the absolute humidity or the mass of moisture or mass of moisture contained with the maximum, then I can term it relative humidity. Basically, what is the purpose of this term? It gives me the information about will the evaporation takes place or not. If it is, if there is a possibility of evaporation or not, because evaporation is necessary for maintaining the cold as well as to maintaining the moisture level also. So that's why this term is more appropriate, which tells us will the evaporation will be there from the air or from the surrounding, which has to be air conditioned or not. Then another term is the dry bulb temperature. The temperature of air measured by the ordinary thermometer is called dry bulb temperature. How do we measure the temperature? We measure the thermometer generally with the help of the liquid thermometer, which contains mercury, and in the bulb of it the mercury is there. And what is the concept behind it? By getting the temperature, the linear expansion of that mercury takes place. Okay, so if that bulb of what? Bulb of thermometer is dry. Bulb of thermometer is dry. It means I am taking out the thermometer and placing it in air. It's not bad. So the reading which I will be getting, that will be the dry bulb temperature, or I can say the ordinary temperature of the surrounding. This is the dry bulb temperature. It will be more clear when I will be discussing another term, that is the wet bulb temperature. The temperature of air measured by the thermometer when it is covered by the wet cloth is known as wet bulb temperature. So what is now? What is basically this? If now I am using the same thermometer in which I am using a cotton cloth, and one end of the cotton cloth is wrapped on the thermometer bulb, and another end of that cotton cloth is dipped in water. What will happen? Because of the capillary action, water will rise and the bulb of thermometer becomes wet. As the temperature of surrounding and the temperature of that bulb is different from the temperature of water, so evaporation will take place, and evaporation will take place up to what time? Up to the time unless the moisture level of surrounding of that bulb is equal to the temperature, equal to the moisture level of the that wet cloth or the bulb. So it means because of this evaporation, certain temperature will be decreased. So that temperature, when there is no evaporation takes place from the wet cloth, that temperature when will be measured with the help of thermometer, that will be known as wet bulb temperature. Okay. The another term is the dew point temperature. Okay. So dew point temperature is what? The temperature at which the water vapor starts condensing is called dew point temperature. Okay. So what exactly it is? If I am placing one chilled water bottle on a table, what will you observe? What will be observed? We will be observing that after certain time, some dews, some droplets of tiny droplets of water will be there on the circumference of the bottle, on the surface of the bottle. Why? What basically these droplets are? These droplets are basically the dew. These droplets are basically dew. And why these are occurring? Because of the condensation. So the temperature at which this condensation or the formation of dew starts, that's what known as dew point temperature. Dew point temperature of air. So this is also important when we are studying the moisture level of the air. Then at what temperature and pressure these vapors will be converted into water, condensation will take place. So on that point of view, this temperature has to be observed. Then two other terms, wet bulb depression and dew point depression. Obviously the dry bulb temperature will be higher as compared to the wet bulb temperature, because wet bulb temperature is measured after the evaporation. So the how much it is receded. So dBT minus WBT, dry bulb temperature minus wet bulb temperature, it indicates the wet bulb depression, or it is also indicating the relative humidity. As I already told that the relative humidity tells us what? Will the evaporation take place or not? So this is also. So if there is a difference between dBT and WBT, then obviously there is a possibility of evaporation. Then the dew point depression, it is the difference between the DBT, dry bulb temperature, and dew point temperature. So these are the basic terminologies related to what? Related to air conditioning system. Now there are certain factors, as we are studying all this from the point of view of human comfort, and in human comfort, if I analyze it thermodynamically, then what are the factors which affects? Okay, so effective temperature, obviously this is the first one. Effective temperature means we can consider two things: the temperature of the surrounding and temperature of what? Along with the temperature of surrounding, the temperature of temperature what we want to maintain inside the premises. Then the second factor which affects the thermal comfort or which affects the performance of air conditioning system, that is the heat production and regulation in human body. It depends on in what condition we are. Basically the metabolism rate of body inside our body, if it is very high, then obviously the heat production will be high. So in that this also affects the thermal comfort of any human body. Heat and moisture loss from the human body, if we are exercising a lot, in that condition the heat and moisture loss as well as our metabolism will be very high. In that condition, that also affects the thermal comfort of human body. Moisture content, I already discussed on my first slide. If the moisture level of surrounding air is very high, in that condition there will be a problem in evaporation, or if evaporation doesn't take place, then it causes the discomfort. Quality and quantity of air, it is related to the purity of air. So if the air is not purified, then it is not possible to feel comfortable condition within the premises. Air motion, the velocity of air which is circulated inside the chamber, inside the premises in which we are. So in that condition also, the velocity of air plays important role. It must not be very high as well as not very low. It is around 8 to 12 meters per minute speed. Hot and cold surfaces, it also affects. If there is some hot surfaces, there is some geyser or there is something else which is placed inside that chamber, then it also affects the performance of air conditioning system and affects the thermal human comfort also. Okay, so these, one more thing which affects the function, that is the number of persons, how many persons are there, or what is the frequency of in and out. It also affects the thermal comfort condition and performance of any air conditioning system. So it is not only that temperature plays an important role in thermal comfort, along with that how the heat is produced inside our body, our metabolism reaction, metabolism rate, and number of persons, the moisture level, the quality and quantity of air, the speed of air, all these parameters has to be taken care when we talk about the human comfort on the basis of thermodynamic point of view. Okay, so now we can discuss about what? Now we can discuss about window type air conditioning system. This is a schematic diagram which I will be discussing along with the working also. So here we can find the components are more or less same as we discussed in domestic refrigerator also. So there is a compressor, then the condenser is there, the expansion valve is there, and the evaporator is there. Okay, the functions are same. We have already discussed in vapor compression refrigeration system. We have discussed all these in the domestic refrigerator also. Other than this, we are finding that there are two fans also to increase the rate of heat transfer. So this is schematic diagram I will be discussing with the working of window type air conditioning system. Here we can see that the components are same. So obviously the discussions will be more or less same related to all the components. This is what we can see the cut section model of any window type air conditioning system, where exactly all these components are. Okay, so evaporator is, this is the position of evaporator in window type air conditioning system. This is the expansion valve. Here the compressor is there. Okay, here we can find the condenser. So this is the position of each and every component, where these components are placed in window type air conditioning system. Okay, this is another diagram in which you can get some idea about where all these, although the diagrams are similar, only the some positions are different, but the components are same. Okay, so here you can find the compressor, the condenser, the expansion valve, the evaporator. So all these components which we have already seen in the previous diagram related to window type air conditioning system. Okay, now here I would like to discuss the working of window type air conditioning system. What basically is happening here? The low pressure vapor refrigerant from the evaporator is sucked by compressor through the open inlet valve. So here is the evaporator, the low pressure vapor refrigerant. Obviously in evaporator the evaporation of liquid refrigerant takes place, and because of the absorption of latent heat of vaporization, it is converted into low pressure and low temperature vapor refrigerant. That vapor refrigerant enters into compressor. That vapor refrigerant enters into compressor. So this is what the first step. The second one is the compressor compresses the vapor refrigerant. Okay, this is the function of, and how it is doing this? By supplying some electrical energy through the motor. Then because of the compression, the high pressure and high temperature vapor refrigerant then flows to the condenser through the open outlet valve. So from the outlet valve of compressor, the high pressure and obviously high temperature vapor refrigerant move towards condenser. In the condenser, the outside atmospheric temperature in summer is around 42 degrees centigrade and air is circulated by this fan. And in condenser, what happens? What is the function of condenser? At constant pressure and temperature, the heat is rejected to the surrounding. Heat is rejected to the surrounding. So this is what, and in that process the latent heat of liquefaction is rejected. So the liquefaction of the refrigerant, vapor refrigerant also takes place. So that's what written over here. In the condenser, the outside atmospheric temperature in the summer, which is around 42 degrees centigrade, the air is circulated for this by fan. After condensation, the high pressure liquid refrigerant. So obviously the pressure and temperature remains constant in the condensation process. So the pressure is extremely high, and after condensation, it means after liquefaction, the high pressure liquid refrigerant passes through an expansion valve which reduces the pressure. This is what the function of expansion valve. In expansion valve, what takes place? In expansion valve, the temperature and pressure of that liquid refrigerant takes place. So this is what the expansion valve here. The low pressure refrigerant then enters the evaporator and evaporates, thus absorbing latent heat of vaporization from the room air. Before that, there is some possibility of evaporation in expansion valve also, because the sudden reduction in pressure takes place. So partial evaporation takes place there, but majority of evaporation takes place where? In the evaporator, by absorbing latent heat of vaporization from the room air. From the room air, the heat is absorbed in evaporator, and that heat is utilized for converting the low pressure liquid refrigerant into vapor refrigerant. The equipment which is used for evaporating the refrigerant is called evaporator. After evaporation, the refrigerant becomes vapor. The low pressure vapor is again passed to the compressor. Thus the cycle is repeated. Okay, so this is what the working of window type air conditioning system. So again I am explaining with this particular diagram. In evaporator, the absorption of heat from the room air, and this vapor refrigerant is then passing through the compressor, where it is converted into high pressure vapor refrigerant. High pressure vapor refrigerant at high temperature enters in condenser, where it rejects heat to the surrounding and get condensed, and high pressure liquid refrigerant then starts coming towards the expansion valve. In expansion valve, because of the pressure reduction, because of the sudden pressure reduction, there is a little possibility of evaporation also, but majority of evaporation takes place in evaporator by absorbing heat from room air. So this is how again it is getting converted into vapor refrigerant. So almost the working is similar as it was for domestic refrigerator or it was discussed in vapor compression refrigeration system. Only the thing which is differed here, that is the temperature. There we were talking about the minus 15 degree centigrade because we have to freeze the water, we have to maintain the temperature. But here the temperature is around 5 to 10 degrees centigrade, room temperature is around 18 degrees centigrade, and the surrounding temperature where the heat is rejected, that is around 42 to 45 degrees centigrade. So the difference in the pressures also. For increasing the heat transfer rate, the fans are mounted to increase the condensation heat rejection as well as the air circulation in the room, which has to be air conditioned. Okay, the quantity of air circulated can be controlled by dampers. The moisture in the air passing over the evaporator coil is dehumidified and dry into the trays. The unit automatically stops when the required temperature is reached in the room. This is what performed by thermostat. So this is what we all observe. We set certain temperature in our window air conditioning system or split air conditioning system, and as soon as the temperature is reached, it is automatically power off. It is getting switched off. So how it is happening? It is with the help of thermostat. It is with the help of thermostat. The refrigerant which is generally used, that is the monochloro-difluoromethane, which is CHClF2, or I can say it is Freon 22. So this is what the window type air conditioning system and working of it. I hope all the components and the working of each and every component is clear here. Then there are certain merits and demerits. So a separate temperature control is provided in each room. Ducts are not required for distribution. Cost is less. This is what the window type air conditioning as compared to the central air conditioning or skilled technician is required for installation. Okay. Demerits, it makes noise. Large hole is made in the external valve or a large opening to be created in the window panel. This leads to insecurity. Okay, so if we are placing the air conditioning system, then this may be one of the fear. Okay, air quantity cannot be varied. Okay, so these are the merits and demerits of window type air conditioning system. Some are technical, but some are psychological, but still there are certain merits and demerits. So I hope by watching this video you will be able to understand what basically the term air conditioning means. Again I am concluding air conditioning doesn't mean maintaining the low temperature or high temperature. It is the maintaining the human comfort, which is the factor of moisture, purity, quantity, speed, each and everything. So this is what the air conditioning basically. And for studying the air conditioning system, we need to go through the psychometry, where we are required to study the dry bulb, wet bulb and dew point temperature, because moisture is also important along with the temperature. And if the moisture is important, then also the relative humidity, that term is also important. So when we talk about the air conditioning, we have to talk about both the temperature as well as the moisture level, and then the working is simple, because we discussed the working of these all components many times in my previous videos also. So I hope now it is clear to you. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you.